growing up, did you see yourself any different than other kids that you grew up with?
Yeah, how could you not? I had no legs.
Uh-huh.
So for a very long time, I sort of saw myself as like below or not on equal footing as
Uh-huh.
my peers because I literally wasn't.
Uh-huh.
But I think sometime around like middle school, got running blades, and I started to kind of, I guess, come out of that like cloud or of like despair and start to build my own self confidence around my peers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I mean it wasn't totally terrible for me
Uh-huh.
because I was always equal to them like in the classroom and stuff like that. But when it comes to stuff like PE and recess and general sports and stuff,
So the physical part was where
Exactly.
you knew that there was something.
exactly.
And for somebody who doesn't know who you are and what happened, and so was this an acquired disability or you were born with it?
No, it was a genetic disorder. So I was born with a genetic disorder called bilateral tibial hemimelia,
Uh-huh.
which means the absence of the tibia bone in both legs.
Okay.
So I was born 11 months. I had a double knee disarticulation, and I've had prosthetics since I was 1.5.
So
Louder?
you've had prosthetics since you were one.
Yeah, I've had prosthetics since I was 1.5. Yeah.
And looking back now that you are almost to your adult life, is there anything that you wish you could have had as a kid growing up?
If I'm being honest, not really. No, I don't regret or look back or wish I had anything that I didn't have. I think everything that I went through and everything that I didn't have shaped me in the person that I am today.
And when you were setting your goals as a kid, because every kid wants to be this and that, did that hinder you from setting your goals?
I mean, not really, because when I was a little kid, I set a goal to become an Olympian in swimming,
Uh-huh.
and I figured I don't really need my legs to become an Olympian in swimming. Yeah.
And do you swim now?
I mean, I haven't been I was like a professional swimmer
Uh-huh.
at one point because I did Paralympic swimming, so national champion, placed at the World Series, qualified for Paralympic trials twice. So I did swim, but I haven't done it in a while. So I picked up wrestling and jiu-jitsu not too long ago.
So on your daily life, while you were going to elementary school, was there kind of a bully in your life? Were there some kids who were just picking on you just because of the way you are?
I mean, at first, but it's kind of like I met some of my best friends through them bullying me at first. Some of my lifelong friends that I've known since elementary school.
So how would you counter if somebody asked you a question that would be considered bullying? But at this time, I think, they were playing, they would
Yeah.
just pick up on something.
You do the
they're
same
kids.
thing. You do the same thing, yeah. If somebody asks you a question about your legs that seems stupid or has a bullying undertone, you ask them something about something that looks not right on them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so that helped you in a way to just enjoy your growing up
Yeah. Not only endure, but prosper.
But there are so many kids out there
Mhm.
with disabilities, and they find it so challenging for them to succeed in what they are doing. What message would you give them for them to be able to do to plan and succeed in what they are doing?
Honestly, I don't think that I have a message
Uh-huh.
that could kind of go along and be like a blanket statement to every single kid.
Uh-huh.
I think if I was a kid looking for a message, I'd look for someone to say that you have to figure it out on your own.
Uh-huh.
It's not something that you can teach or something that you can tell someone. It's something that will come with life experiences as a kid.
Okay,
You know
so-
how you can adjust to and be able to prosper in your own life.
But then there are those kids too who would find it hard to just learn it from experience. They would maybe refuse to do something. And I think,
Well, to those kids, I would say you kind of have to, even though your disability is a part of yourself and that's not going to change, you have to look at yourself as, you can't see yourself and then see yourself automatically be limited by your disability. You know what I mean? You have to look at yourself and be like, I can do this despite what I may be missing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
and did you have that aspect of I'm missing something?
Of course, I had no legs. I knew I was missing no legs, but
But it was not a limitation in itself.
Exactly.
Yes?
I didn't see it as me missing legs, so I can't do something.
Oh, okay,
I
but
I see it as okay. I'm missing legs. So
but
what?
then what?
Exactly.
I have to do
Exactly. I have
whatever
to
I have
keep
to do
pushing.
in life.
Exactly.
And for your parents, How did they view you?
Well, growing up, my mom raised me
Okay.
essentially. It was a single mom. My mom and dad are divorced, so my mom, she raised me as a normal kid.
So they were.
She never told me I couldn't do anything. She never stopped me from doing anything. She always treated me normally. If I wanted to get, let's say, a box of cereal off the fridge, I had to climb up the fridge to get it myself. You know what I mean?
And do you think that was what molded you to be who you are? Just
Yes.
the idea that your mom was not spoon feeding you
Exactly.
to say.
Yes, I do think it's a big part of the person I am today.
So, for your future life, what are your plans? What do you want to do in the future?
In the future, I want to keep pursuing track and wrestling, and swimming as well in college. And in a month or so, I'm going to leave for the University of Virginia to study kinesiology on a full ride scholarship for academics and extracurriculars. Then after that, I'd like to pursue a master's in prosthetics and orthotics at Northwestern or Baylor.
That looks like just an ordinary person plan, no disability. Because, and I keep going back to this because sometimes because of our physical appearance, there is an attachment that people think, if you are a disabled person physically, you have to kind of set your goals based on what you are capable of.
No,
But
this is false. You shouldn't be setting your goals you shouldn't be aligning your goals with your disability. You should be aligning your goals with what you want to do, and then adjusting yourself to those goals. You should not be adjusting your goals to your limitations.
I like, this show, I started it because the message that I want us to get out there is people learning how to live with their new self.
Yes.
Because I think that is where the struggle is. Some new outlook, something changes in life, and then all of a sudden it messes up what an individual had planned.
Yeah.
But like you said, you cannot set what you want to do based on your disability. You just set your goals based on what you want to be,
Exactly.
what you want to do.
Exactly.
And asking about your prosthetics, how did you end up at POA?
Well, it's actually kind of a funny story. So I was a cashier at Target up until last Saturday. Was my last shift. So one day, the social media director for you guys at POA, she comes in line with her daughter with like a $400-500 huge order. And so her daughter starts talking to me. We're talking. And then she's like, we got this big order to keep you on your toes. And I look down, I'm like, what toes? And then she's like, oh my God, Mom, you gotta come see this. Karen is a single amputee.
Yeah.
And so she's like, what is Sammy talking about, who's her daughter? And then she comes, she's like, oh my God, you gotta come check out this new suspension system we have at POA called the PPS. I was like, well, okay, sure, I'll come check it out. So I come here just expecting to get my running blades adjusted. And then, Stan convinces me to try the PPS. Then 2 weeks later, I've got 2 new sets of legs.
And has that changed your daily activities?
Yes, it's a lot less falling, for one. And second, I can manage my volume throughout the day a lot better than I used to be able to. And also, which is kind of weird, I can feel my hamstrings and my quads flexing and growing. And I can kind of feel them tight at the end of the day, which is something I never felt before.
So if there is somebody out there looking for, prosthetics, we would recommend that, you check out POS. Patients like
100%.
myself and Brian have had a taste of it, and it really can change your life. Anybody watching, what do you want to tell them? Somebody who is watching this show today.
I think the gist of this show was that people with disabilities should set their goals based on what they want to do, not what they perceive that they can't do.
Because the disability does not define who you are.
Exactly.
It's what
Precisely.
is in
Your heart.
you.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, Brian, we wish you all the best
Thank you,
in
Marco.
your studies, and we'll hope to see you back.
Yeah, I will be back.